Welcome to the Cosbros. My name is Caleb.
I'm Matt.
I'm Nate.
And we are the
Cos-Bros.
And today we have a very special podcast for you today. We're going to be discussing the finale of Book of Boba Fett, which was pretty dang good. Am I right, boys?
Oh,
It wasn't too bad. Yeah.
I'm not mad about it at all.
Yeah,
I
not
mean, if
too
you
bad.
guys anyone notices, that's why I'm wearing this hat for some character.
We got Cat Bane right here in the flesh, you know? But as well, we're just going to be discussing some of our future cosplay plans and some of the stuff that we have in the works right now. And speaking of which, I'm going to start with none other than our boy Nathan. So what do you have planned for your next cosplay of 2022?
Well, you see, I'm kind of trying to scale up my cosplays right now. I know with cons coming up, hopefully, we'll see. I mean, obviously, we'll try to do Star-Lord again. But this is one I've been actually trying to do with my dad for a long time. He's never done cosplay, but he looks pretty close to Sean Connery. And I've wanted to do an Indy and father shoot with him for a long time.
Sean Connery, yeah.
Exactly, just like Sean Connery. You know, we've been planning this. He actually has his outfit all together, so we're gonna do a test shoot this weekend. Actually, kind of out in the desert.
Nice.
So I'll hopefully share with you guys how it looks. But I saw his suit. I saw what he looks like. Looks really good.
That's going to be awesome. And
Yeah.
I've had one moment with my dad where we got to do the father-son cosplay. I
Oh,
forced him
really?
into a cap
Sure,
suit.
yeah.
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
People loved it. And like, it was just really cool to kind of see my dad in that element, especially when he's not that type of person. He's
Exactly.
he had no clue who Captain America was.
I-
Like really funny to see him in the costume. Cause like, I would have never thought like I would be in a Spidey suit and my dad would be in a Captain America suit and we're taking like timer pictures and like I'm hitting him with the shield or like, you know, it's just really funny
Love that.
stuff, honestly.
I remember when I was in Penn State and I started my own little charity organization there. My dad jokingly talked about doing a rolling up as Professor X one day for one of our
nice.
events. He's not, disabled or anything like that,
No.
but he's like, I'm an old guy. Who can I be? And that's the only person I could think of. So he's like, all right, cool. I'll shave my head. No problem.
He shaved his head.
No, he never actually did it, but
Oh, I was gonna say,
agree,
dang, that
like,
would be
it would
commitment
be
right
really
there.
cool to do something like that for sure.
It's awesome, man. It's a really awesome moment, especially for you if you're a cosplayer, you're really into it. It's kind of cool to see your dad connect into your world. So we got Indiana Jones and Henry Jones coming up. But
Yes.
Matt, what do we have coming up
yes.
for you in 2022?
All right, for 2022, as you all know, I'm a big Captain America cosplayer, but I've been doing that since 2013. I'm a little capped out, if you will. So another character I really like to cosplay as is Nightwing because I don't know, for some reason growing up, I had an older brother. When Batman Forever came out, him and I would always play Batman and Robin or whatever. And I'm the younger one, so I was naturally Robin. And Chris O'Donnell, let's be real. Maybe you don't love the Forever movie and the Batman and Robin movie. Chris O'Donnell was prime Dick Grayson. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
He just knocked him out of the park.
You did.
And so I liked doing Robin. And then when I got older, he became Nightwing and he became his own hero outside of the Batman shadow. I'm like, yes, I love this guy. So I have my own custom design that's going to take from Young Justice Nightwing, the new Gotham Knights game coming out Nightwing, as well as some elements from the Justice League movie by Zack Snyder for like texture purposes of the fabric. You know how like the Batman suit and the Robin suit in those movies had like that texture to the fabric.
Speaking of what you're talking about the Dark Knight fabric, and even the Robin suit from that fabric. I was just looking at the creator, Gaslight Crow. I think he just released some fabric photos of it, and I was really surprised to see it because the gray fabric was completely untouched. And then it made me think, like, so do they go in with like an X-Acto knife or a little knife and add all those little scrapes that are on it on the Batman suit? Like, I think
from what I can see, the suit, the gray is untouched and it's printed. Everything that creates that texture, the cut is a printed screen fabric.
Oh, gotcha.
Similar to what
Yeah.
we have with our Captain America suits and everything like that. It's how they can then make it a custom fabric. So you have to basically offer an arm and a leg in order to figure out how to make that fabric yourself because they don't want it to make it easily replicable for other companies to profit off of.
For
See,
sure.
I learn something new every day with you guys. It's like you guys are experts at cosplay and they have all these like plans and they're like, all right, we know exactly how to make this look work.
But yes, it's still in the early designs. I am in conversations with Gaslight Co, who's going to make the suit, and he's going to finalize everything that I'm looking for, and we're going to make it happen. And it's just going to be a completely different Nightwing than anyone's ever seen, 100%. And I'm excited about it.
Cool. That's going to be epic. I really applaud Matt on doing like a different look, because it's hard when you're seeing all these other creators doing like these one designer these comic style designs, and I've actually seen his design that he drew up, and I was like, oh, that's really cool, because it gives like a different look than I've ever seen for Nightwing. And I think that unique original design is what will make you stand out. And of course, you know, you play it well. He does a good job, you know. You got that kind of Chris O'Donnell look to him.
So you guys learned from me. You learned from Matt what we're doing. So Caleb, what new cosplays do you have in the works?
Oh man, okay. I'll give a couple. So I don't want to get too deep into it, but I did just get a little partnership with Carbon Panther, and I'm gonna be doing a brand new Punisher look. And I'm not gonna give too much away, because this is a cosplay that I really wasn't expecting to be able to bring out this year, but just a lot of things kind of like fell right into place and happened correctly. And I had some other pieces for some cosplays that I just really wasn't using for what I wanted to. So it's all working really well together, and I'm hoping that the final look looks good. I think it's going to. So I'm really excited. I got a custom Punisher suit on the way. But one of my main cosplays for 2022 is actually my Boy Wonder Robin costume, based off of the 90s style Tim Drake. So me and Matt actually went through the same costume designer. I think he had just mentioned him, which is Gaslight Co. He's a really popular costume creator that does really mainly just Nightwing and Robin costumes. And I've really been eyeing him to do a custom suit for me for a while, and it's just, you know, the funds and whatnot. It's a lot of money. So I was finally able to, you know, get enough funds together to create this suit, and I'm really, really excited with the progress so far. So his is like a couple weeks behind mine. So we'll see his probably in the next month or so, month or two. But mine is almost done. So I actually have the whole suit almost finished, other than like the gloves and like the airbrush, and then I have a bunch of pieces I have to assemble for it myself. And I'm actually having some 3D pieces created for just really to add to the aesthetic of it, because I really wanted to create something custom, but also something that like relives my love for why I want to cosplay this character. And that is definitely, to me, I just love the padded arms, the pads on the gauntlets and stuff. And so definitely we'll be seeing something of that soon, and I'm really excited for that.
Absolutely.
So, but I was going to actually ask you guys, this guy Gaslight Co. Does he specifically just do DC characters, or does he also venture into Marvel and other
He ventures... Well, I don't know if he's done Marvel.
He has a couple cap suits for sure for himself.
Okay, so he does all like, you know.
But he mainly like he's kind of like the guy you go to if you want a Nightwing suit or a Robin suit.
Right. Something like, very slick and something.
Yeah, he kind of like owns that market, and it's well deserved. You know, he's made a lot of really, really cool suits for a lot of really awesome influencers. That, you know, we're all friends with and stuff. And so it's like you see his suit and you like immediately know. And like even my suit now, I'm very impressed with it, and I can't wait to see the final design. So.
And then a nice thing about Gaslight Co. is he's not going to do a product if he's not comfortable doing it. Yeah. So what he does is he'll do his own dream cosplays. Like he just recently did The Witcher, or I think he did The Witcher, but he's still not happy with the leather work. So he is taking upon himself this year to teach himself leather work, so he can actually get that leather work to the expectations that he wants. Yeah. And then maybe he'll start offering those sorts of costumes in the future.
Yeah, and that kind of level of just craftsmanship and that level of integrity to it really pulls off a better product. It's something better looking than you're going to get from like any eBay or Amazon like this vendor.
Yeah, or any of these vendors that are making cosplays, because I mean, even for example, I saw one of my pictures, people sending me photos of like one of my suits. It's like me in the symbiote suit from Spider-Man 3. I'm in like a custom like $300 base suit that you can't just like get this file. You have to go through RPC to get it. And I'm in another like $250 face shell that has a perfect face for it. And they're like saying that you can get this suit for like $35 on AliExpress. The ways people are getting fooled out here. So it's like one thing in the cosplay community is you really want to know who you're buying from, because if you know me, I've bought a lot of suits and stuff, and I've had a lot of situations where like it didn't go well. And luckily, I mean, I've had a few of the creators that I purchased through actually, you know, come back through and, you know, really like show themselves by, you know, like fixing the errors. And to me, that means more than like having a perfect cosplay off the jump. You know, somebody that's like willing to like hear you out and be like, oh, I messed up. Here, let me fix it. Like that. The last thing you want is like, you know, your name like kind of getting rubbed through the mud. Right.
Exactly.
Hey, and speaking of dragging you through the mud, can we talk about that episode of Book of Boba Fett? Season 1. I was going to say season whatever, 7. But season 1, episode 7. Oh my gosh, the finale. I mean, honestly, it was pretty good. There, I stayed up till midnight. I don't know about you guys. I'm just like, what's going to happen?
Well,
is Grogu going to choose a lightsaber? Is he going to choose a
the big
chainmail?
choice, the big decision.
And then, you know, you see the episode 5 and you just see the little bubble on the back of the ship and you're like, oh, Grogu's going to be sitting up there.
Yeah, I love how they tried to pull the whole like an X-Wing again, like from the season 2 finale of The Mandalorian. I'm like, yeah, that's not going to work twice, guys. We already know.
It wasn't going to work twice. And I mean, I like that he wasn't there. I like that Luke wasn't there. But also I was like, why did he just like leave this little kid?
I know that. I think we need to address this problem. Is like Luke sent an infant in an X-Wing by himself.
R2 was in complete control of that ship.
Yeah, but tell me you're salty without telling me you're salty.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense because if Luke was there, there's no battle. Luke would just show up, wreck shop, and that would be that. So
and it would have been awesome.
They had to. It would have been awesome, but it would have been very short lived, just like his little scene at the end of season 2. And that's that. They needed to make this episode a finale.
And also, it just wouldn't like really makes sense, especially at this point in it, having Luke and Boba Fett like be friends,
right?
You know, like
all is said and done. No worries,
man. It's like, oh, hey, thanks for like basically almost killing me and Han, and having my sister be a slave.
Exactly. Why Leia was a slave.
And who knows what happened there?
Well, if anyone has ever seen the Star Wars Holiday Special, that was actually Boba Fett's first introduction.
And that's why you remember he's like, I've rode bigger animals than this one.
Yes.
That's what he's referring. That's what he's referring to is the thing that he's riding in that holiday special.
Yeah, that same thing.
and like on top of that, it's not only a destination, but it's like Tatooine, where Luke was raised at, and like he knows
he's very salty about coming back to his hometown. You know,
maybe that's it. Maybe that
could be it. Yeah.
Maybe he's also really salty. It's like Grogu chose this Mandalorian, and
maybe a little bit of both. Because honestly, like
it's his first Padawan. And he's like pumped to reestablish the Jedi Order.
Yeah, he built this whole temple.
Before he even gets started, Grogu's like, deuces.
Literally, it's not only that, right? Like, I totally agree with what Matt's saying. He threw up the deuces quick. He literally was creating this for Grogu. But on top of that, there's a lot of significance behind that only living real Jedi other than Obi-Wan that Luke was trained by and taught the ways of the Jedi was Master Yoda. And we really got to see that relationship build in episode 6.
Yeah.
And for him to have that all taken away and this like disregarded, like
he was probably like a parent throwing out his kids like, all right, you're 18, get out of my house.
Like, get going then, bud. But yeah, I totally can kind of understand why Luke was like, all right, no, see you later then, bud. And I mean, I'm sure that we'll probably see Luke again. And this is something that we were discussing after we watched the season finale is, will we see Luke in Mandalorian season 3 or like any other future projects?
Yeah,
and
I don't know. I think right now, for the way it stands, for the choice that Grogu has made, I don't see Luke coming back into the picture right now in that series. What I kind of think might happen, I think you were mentioning this, that he might make an appearance in the Ahsoka series.
Absolutely. I firmly believe
he will.
You know, they had the exchange in the second to last episode. Will I ever see you again?
Yep.
You know, and
it's already
she's got a series coming.
Like,
come on, we already know it's going to happen. My theory is everyone thinks Ahsoka's series is going to be around her finding Ezra again.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen Rebels, you would understand, or you won't understand why. But and she's gonna have this new younger Jedi. Well, he's not really younger at this point, but he's still untrained. He's not finished training, so she's probably gonna find him. And then, hey, Luke is a Jedi Master to train you.
And honestly, I can see it working more that way because let's face it, doing the whole refacing of those actors is really hard work. It takes a long time to render that stuff out, and they can't just have Luke appearing all the time just because fans want it.
And I mean, it kind of like takes away, like, I think another thing is it takes away from who Luke is, and that's why we love Boba Fett, and a lot of people love Boba Fett. even if you don't, is because you don't really hear a lot from him. He's not in it too much. He's in it just enough to give you the mystery of like, who is he? Where is he?
Right.
Like if we were getting Luke in every single episode of Ahsoka, it takes away the significance of having the character in the first place.
Exactly.
And so I think Max, will see him in like one episode. And I think that you do have a good understanding of like where the series could go with Ahsoka and Ezra. But timeline wise and stuff, it just doesn't make sense to me that Ezra would go and be with Luke. Personally, okay. I mean, it could have happened. Yeah, definitely. And would we like it? Yes. But I think in turn, like it wouldn't make sense for the Rise of Skywalker trilogy or the new trilogy is because we kind of seen Luke with a bunch of young Padawans and kind of by himself. And to have like that older, wise Padawan that's been through the whole resistance and stuff, like they would either have to like kill him off, or it just like, it wouldn't make sense why he was like there in the first place, you know? Like you'd be like, wait, why wasn't he there to like stop Kylo with Luke, you know? And like, it would leave too many questions unanswered that they would have to answer in like a later season or something. Exactly. And like, I think ideally, like maybe like he would become like Ahsoka's Padawan, but like through like, kind of like what they did with the Mando season where it's like, they go see Luke and like, she tries to almost hand him off to Luke, but then they have that like connection moment where it's like, no, you're supposed to be with her.
Or maybe not even that. Maybe we see a mirror of Anakin and his struggles with becoming a Jedi. Mace Windu was real quick to be like, nah, son, you ain't it. And we think that Luke is desperate to rebuild the Jedi Temple to take anyone. But we see Ezra come in. He's an adult now. But Luke has his wits and be like, no, you're too old. So it comes full circle.
I don't think we're going to see a ton of Luke, honestly. I think like Max, and I hope Max, as much as I love seeing him, but I do hope Max one episode in Ahsoka. Like, I don't think there's really any point to show him in Mandalorian. And I think that we'll kind of like see him like really fall into being the King of Mandalore. Right. All right. Well, enough about Luke, because I mean, he was really only in one episode of Book of Boba, but it's crazy because like he is a Jedi. We can get caught on Luke topics and the future of Luke Skywalker in the Star Wars universe for days and hours. But let's talk about our boy Boba Fett. I mean, he just had his own show. He just finished, like, you know, like he had what, like, I know he was in the last two episodes or last two of 7 too much, but what did you guys think, like, of the ending of like him as a character?
Let me ask you guys this question. Do you think this finale was enough to redeem his character for everything the show has put him through?
I think Boba Fett's never deserved the hype that he's had. I think he has only ever gotten the hype from a bunch of fanboys back in the 70s and 80s who decided to just make him the greatest bounty hunter ever. But I'm a firm believer of check the facts, and he doesn't do anything. He stands there in all of his screen footage and he gets kicked and falls into the Sarlacc pit. Like, cool. So I think there wasn't much to redeem to begin with. I was really hoping that this series would make me think otherwise, but just confirmed that that's just who he is. And I'm sorry, fanboys. You're going to have to just swallow the pill. It's canon now.
He's hating, bro. He's over here hating big time. I mean, here's my take on Boba Fett. I totally agree with Matt. I've always been connected to more of the lightsaber characters in Star Wars, and that's where I always am like, ooh, Force Bush. I never cared for Boba Fett. He was kind of whatever to me, especially growing up in the later years.
But honestly, I feel like Robert Rodriguez kind of did an interesting thing. Like, he started off with the pilot episode.
Keep him out of Star Wars.
Gave us episode 3, which, let's face it, is not our favorite. And then he gave us this, which is kind of like, you know what? Okay, you kind of redeemed itself, but not enough.
Dude, those 2 robots, bro, as soon as they came in, I was loving it. And then they bring these 2 robots,
and I'm like, with a force
like these non-stop force-filled shields that they couldn't break through, that like wasn't shooting anybody, that was like pushing people away and then just like kept walking. I was like, all right, how's freaking stupid are these robots?
That's true.
Like the only reason they made sense was like, ooh, bring the Rancor out that Boba Fett can ride on. But overall, I mean, there was a lot of highlights in the episode that were really good. Mandalorian really didn't do shit. I mean, like, he really, other than him flying out on his jetpack, that was cool. That was really cool. But like, like him with the sword. I was
Right.
not once like, ooh, Mandalorian.
That actually kind of made me
carrying
laugh.
right
He
now.
brings out the dark saber. We're like, oh yeah, this is
Yeah,
gonna happen. And
this
then
is
he hits
gonna
the shield,
solve
nothing happens. It's
everything.
like,
Nothing
Yeah.
happens. I was like, I don't like this.
like he's only there just to cuddle with Grogu and be the dad moment.
Yeah.
Just give us our all moments,
And have Grogu have his moment to shine, with the
Exactly.
Force to save his daddy,
Couple
Right,
times,
right,
even
yep.
though he gets hit, I saw him got hit in the knee, and I was like, oh, glad that's not my Beskar armor. I like it hurt.
I will say this though, did it kind of weirded out that Finnick was like going everywhere? Like she was at one spot and then suddenly she's taking out these guys there. And then
She was kind of just disappearing,
like,
and
what?
then
Why
it
are
wasn't
they
really
doing-
too
moving that
well
fast?
explained.
From the very beginning,
Mhm.
Boba Fett sends her to take out the syndicates.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And she hopped on the speeder and raced off.
Mhm.
That's what she was doing the entire time everyone was fighting. So she was able to, on her way to the syndicate, she was able to stop by and unfortunately help those annoying droid humans, whatever they're called.
Whatever
the Mighty
they
Morphin
are,
Power
they-
Rangers
yeah.
of Star
Horny as
Wars.
hell.
yeah, the ones who just
The
like, you
worst,
guys,
literally.
It's your fault you guys got cornered and you guys didn't strategize this
Am
well.
I the only one? The worst part of this whole episode was when light skinned guy with the robot eye does a
My
360
lord.
spin into the shoot position. And I'm
Completely
like,
unnecessary.
I'm
No.
like, bro, what in the heck is this crap that is on my TV right now?
Literally goes from shooting position,
Mhm.
does an unnecessary 360 spin back to the exact same shooting position he was already
It
in.
didn't look cool. It looked so dumb. And like I don't know. Maybe I'm just noticing
No.
it because I hate the characters already.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, it's enough to
Uh,
just say. But I'm gonna cringe so much when kids are gonna try and pull off the same move and they're gonna film themselves and like TikTok.
Yeah. All right. So we've discussed what we thought about this series, Book of Boba Fett.
Mhm.
But in speaking of, I wanted to hear from you guys. What was your favorite part of the series?
Oh,
Oh, Nate,
Do you
that's
want-
all you,
oh,
man.
me? Okay. I'm gonna say this. My favorite part is Cad Bane.
Oh,
Him coming into the
bringing
picture
him in was
was
cool.
great.
It was.
I loved his moments.
Definitely.
I loved his scenes.
Great.
If anything, he made Boba Fett's dialogue less corny and
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was also kind of my worst moment in the whole
Right.
series. Spoilers alert, when Boba Fett takes him out the way he did. I mean, it's
Yeah.
cool.
Is he
that
dead
they-
though? It doesn't seem like he was
He
like, dead
pierced
enough.
him right in the
He
torso.
was lying there. There was no breath happening.
He pulled a
was
Tusken
still-
Warrior move on him. So it's like,
Yeah.
that's enough to kind of like take him out. I like the fact that he went out the way he did with Boba Fett, redeeming himself through that measure. I just don't like the fact he's gone now of the picture.
Yeah.
However, we did see, if you watch through the credits,
Yeah, if you
you
watch
get
the
a little
special scene at
mid-credit
the
scene.
end.
Thank you, Disney and Marvel, for that.
Mhm.
Of our boy Cobb Vanth
Yeah.
in the back to tank.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe he does make it, and we get to see a new rivalry form between these two.
I really
yeah,
hope so. That
I
makes me
just
interested.
it felt forced. It felt like
Yeah.
it wasn't like
it's
the
like a
end.
villain has
Right.
to die in this somehow.
Right.
It's like we
Yeah.
gotta take out one of these baddies.
like to me it was like there was no like real definitive like he's dead.
Mhm.
Like it was like if he was to come back, it would kind of make sense on either terms because he was just like stabbed once and then he just
Right.
like oh
You don't bring back someone like Cad Bane for what, two
two
episodes and minimal screen time and kill him off. You just don't.
Oh.
So Matt, what was your favorite and worst part of the whole series?
Okay, so my favorite part, I'm same with you, Caleb. I'm a huge Jedi lightsaber fan.
Mhm.
So that episode where it was all about Grogu, Luke, and Ahsoka,
Mhm.
I was here for it. I was eating it up like munchies, man.
Watching it like
Oh, that was nice. Nah. And worst part, anytime the freaking Power Rangers are on scene,
Yeah,
man,
the
it
worst.
just
Yeah.
kills me.
Bad.
And I'm sorry, maybe it's because I was in the military, Caleb. You can relate.
Uh-huh.
But if I see someone hold a weapon with their elbow fully extended and hyper extended, even, it's going to drive me effing nuts because you're going to fire that weapon and your elbow is going to fucking dislocate.
Which person are you talking about? The female?
Yes.
She, dude, even in this last episode, there was a couple end scenes where she was like, they were all getting fired on, and I was literally watching her like hand with the gun, and I was like, this looks just absolutely horrendous. Like, who?
What
It
is
taught
reminds,
this
me,
chick
it
this?
reminds me of like 80s and 70s movies where they
Yeah.
just hand a gun to the actor and be like,
Yeah.
all right, you have a gun, do something with it. And they have no actual formal training with the weapon.
Uh-huh.
And you
I feel
can just
like-
tell it looks cheesy.
Yeah,
as
they-
But I feel
hell.
like that's like Rodriguez's like one like gem. He says you got to put this in for me, man. You
I-
got to do this.
I get it that that's his thing, but also stop making that your thing.
Stop making it your
For the
thing,
love of
bro.
God.
It's not
Okay.
good.
No, so we talked about our favorite moments and worst moments. What are yours?
Yes.
My favorite moments of the Book of Boba Fett. I gotta go with when Din Djarin came through in the very first part of episode 5 when we
Yeah.
first got to see his appearance.
That was fun. Yeah.
Came through, brought the Darksaber, and whooped some ass. Showed
Right.
no mercy on them.
Mhm.
I will show you no mercy. And it was just epic, man. I was loving it. I mean, I'm a big Din Djarin
Mhm.
Mandalorian fan, so
Mhm.
to me, it was one of the best episodes or moments that we've had with the Mandalorian.
Mhm.
And I mean, just seeing him with the Darksaber was epic. How can you
Yeah,
not
it
love
was.
that?
Great moments.
There's some least favorite moments in the series for sure, a few. But one definitive moment was definitely in episode 3 when the speed biker gang was chasing one mayor hooligan, and it was just really, really corny and cheesy, and just was like so out of place. And I think a lot of people were hopping on their phones like, "What the hell is
It was the
that?"
moment everyone started tapping out. It's like,
Tapping
okay,
out,
we're
big
done.
time.
We're done.
Yep.
Yeah,
Check my
we don't like
notifications
this.
real quick.
This ain't it.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, speaking of our least and favorite moments, why don't you go ahead and leave a comment? We'd love to hear what you have to say about the Book of Boba Fett. What was your favorite moment and what was your least?
Yeah.
And also, while you're at it, make sure to go ahead and leave a like and subscribe to the page if you are looking for anything nerdy, because we are going to be discussing all that 2022 has to offer. And we got a lot.
We do. We do have quite a few stuff coming.
Right, we got
Batman, Moon Knight.
Moon Knight. Yeah, what else we got?
Lightyear.
Kenobi.
Buzz Lightyear.
Buzz
Oh,
Lightyear.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Doctor Strange
Cap is
2.
back.
Yeah, too. Yeah.
Cap is back?
Kenobi, the series
Oh.
Kenobi's. We just got
We
the
just dropped
poster.
his
The
trailer.
official
Kenobi's
poster
coming out.
release. It's
I'm
gonna be
trying to think.
nice.
There's got to be some other stuff, but even if it's just that, we have like 8 or 9 topics, and you already know this is gonna be your hub for talking about all the exclusive details in the
Exactly.
episodes and whatnot. So we hope that you will embark upon this journey with us. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. Go ahead and leave a like and comment what kind of content or any questions that you have for us coming in the following podcast. Hey, well, we love to have you guys here in our second ever podcast, but we are gonna go be heading out to a galaxy far, far away from you guys. Thank you so much for viewing, and these are the Cosbros. We'll see you next time.
Later.
Later.